Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and in this episode we are taking a look at the new Tecnam P2006T from FlightSim Studios. This aircraft is absolutely amazing, you guys, and stick around because we're going to walk through absolutely everything and I'm going to show you why. Make sure if you guys can that you join us at FlightSim Expo 2023. That's right, Overkill Simulations is going to be present this year, guys, at the Lone Star Museum in Houston, Texas. If you guys are interested in joining us there, be sure to check down the description below. There is a coupon code that can save you guys a bit of money using my personal reference to get you there. Again, that'll save you a bit of cash in your FlightSim Expo 2023 experience. This is going to be June 23rd through the 25th of 2023. Again, in Houston, Texas, at the Lone Star Flight Museum. I went a few years ago in Las Vegas, and they are an absolute great time. There's some very, very informative and educational seminars to help better your flight simming experience, as well as a ton of developers of both hardware and software that you guys actually get to try out, essentially a try before you buy experience, as well as talking with the developers themselves and finding out what the products are all about. So again, guys, it's going to be FlightSim Expo 2023 in Houston, Texas. I hope to see you guys all there. Don't forget to use my coupon code that you can find down in the description below. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. All right, guys. So first off, we're going to do some exterior views later. You guys will be able to see it, but just from the screenshots, you guys probably got a pretty good view of it. But as we do our walk around, yes, our walk around, you guys will get to see the exterior of the aircraft pretty in depth here. Now, I am going to tell you guys right now, this is going to be a bit of a longer video because this aircraft is so feature rich and so well done that we're going to walk through absolutely everything with this aircraft. So I'm going to give you guys a few tips right out of the gate. We're going to get started right away, and we're going to start with custom views. You're going to want them for this particular aircraft. So first, obviously, you want your default view, whatever that view may be, you know, your pilot seat. So this is typically my pilot view here. Then you're going to want something down here on the circuit breakers if you are using the advanced mode. So this aircraft comes with two possible modes. You have easy mode, which is for your general simmer who just likes to fly around and enjoy aircraft. And then you have the advanced mode, which you guys are going to see today, which offers a much more realistic experience of the aircraft. Then you're going to want to make sure that you have your tablet here. That is one of your views. The tablet, as far as I can tell, cannot be moved from side to side. It can be put in the door on the pilot side, but again, it always returns to this particular location. So to keep that easy, you're going to want this particular view. Obviously, an upstairs view to make sure you have access to your fuel and engine start switches. Here, this is going to be a particular view, and I'm going to show you guys right away what that is. That is for our checklist. Okay, so you're going to want that definitely. And then let's see here, you're going to want to be back here, and I'm going to show you guys why later on, but you will want the rear cargo view available for ease of access. Now, real quick, searching around the cockpit here, you can obviously open the doors. We can kick the doors open very, very easily, very, very nicely. And now we're going to jump right into it because the aircraft is so long and the checklist is still pretty extensive. I want to make sure that we get through this pretty quickly. So we're going to get started. So we're going to pull up our checklist here. Oops, wrong button. There we go, coming down here. And so first, the pre-flight check, which we're going to go through in just a minute once we get to the tablet. Let's go ahead and do a couple others here. We're going to do our parking brake. Our parking brake is right down here. That's this guy right here. We want to make sure the parking brake is set. And moving back up here, let's see here. Doors, we're going to leave them open for now. But yes, you would close the doors, adjust our seats. Landing gear handle is down. Now, master on. Okay, so we do have some juice in the battery here today. Now, when I first started up this aircraft, the battery was dead. And I'm going to show you guys how to resolve that here in just a minute when we move over to the tablet. But so we have our master switch on. We need our nav light, which is going to be down under here. Turn that nav light on just like so. Fuel selectors. We're going to check on those in just a minute. We're going to come back to this part here. Let's go ahead and go up to the pre-flight now. So to do so, we're going to move over to the tablet, bring it here. Very, very well done tablet. Look, you even got live traffic showing here and what's going on in the aircraft here. We're here in Tucson, my hometown. And now here we get to the pre-flight. This is a really well done operation here where you can select the different natures of the aircraft. Now, to get over to the battery section for just a second, as I told you, when I very first time ever started this aircraft, the battery was dead. You just come on over here, kick that ground power on, you're good to go. The operation mode that we talked about, an easy mode or an advanced mode, that's this guy right here. If you want the easy mode, you simply click this one. We obviously want to do the advanced mode today to show everything off. And then your panel state, you can do ready to start, load if you want it ready to start. I like to keep it cold and dark, so we're going to do so there. Weights, you can set your weights. I'm going to leave it as is for now. Same thing with fuel. I'm pretty happy with everything as is in the default state. We're just going to take the aircraft up. Basically, we're going to do a quick circuit around Tucson International and probably come back in for a touch and go here because, again, it's pretty extensive what we're going to do here for today's flight. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to get right into the checklist here. So center of gravity is, or the pre-flight. Center of gravity checked in limit, fuel status. Let's come on over here, take a look at our fuel tanks. Fuel quantity, we're a little low. I'm going to actually add a little bit. So let's just go to weights and balances up here. And we're just going to add a bit of gas. Nothing crazy. There we go. I'm happy with that. There we go. Nice and set. Just in case we end up tooling around for a little bit. Okay, so fuel flaps. Make sure our flaps are in the full retracted position. Now, oops, I went the other way. My bad. Now, the cool thing about these particular aircrafts here, especially under the advanced mode, is that they have state saving enabled. Okay, how did we lose our master switch? Oh, actually, how did we lose the master switch? I don't remember turning that off. Interesting. Anyway, disregard. So the really cool thing about this aircraft is it has state saving. Now, what that means is that, and it's state saving per livery. The aircraft comes with about 8 or 9 liveries, right? And each one of those liveries, when you fly it, if, for example, on the first livery, let's say, I think it's an all-white livery. Let's say you fly it and you end up you land, you stop on the taxiway, engine running, everything like that, and you decide, I'm done, and you quit. When you come back into the white livery, your aircraft's going to be up and running, right? Everything's going to be as you left it previously. Where, for example, we're in the red livery today, we could leave it in a completely different state. In this case, it was cold and dark, which means the next time you go back to it, as long as you shut down at the end of your flight, when you come back to the red livery, it's also going to be cold and dark. So that's pretty awesome, is that you can save your configuration based on the livery, depending on what you're wanting to fly or how you want to use that to your advantage. So let's keep moving here. So what do we got here? We have our flaps are checked, flight controls. So we would just make sure that everything is responsive. We've got everything good to go there. Let's go ahead and clear that back out. And then gear indicator. Let's come back over to the main screen here because we haven't turned our avionics on. And you can see 3 green indicating the gear is down. All right, moving back over to our flow here. We're going to go over to the outside. We're going to check tire inflation, wheel chock. We're going to rotate the prop, check our fuel, which as you can see is already checked, and oil quantity, which I'm going to show you guys the oil quantity. We're going to be clicking right about there on top of the engine here. So let's get started. We're going to go to the outside, takes you out here automatically. Now, the thing to remember here is that this is still technically an inside view. So we have not actually gone to the external view using the mapping that Microsoft Flight Simulator provides. It's still considered a cockpit view, so keep that in mind. All right, so let's kick the tires. Yep, nice good air pressure there. Get rid of that wheel chock. And actually, I just thought about it. Let me give you guys a bit more audio here of the sim. There we go. And we click, like I said, right up here to check our oil. And then I'm going to do Alt-3 again to come back to our tablet. And you can see check, checked, remove, checked, etc. Blah, blah. And so now, aileron and tie downs. I haven't figured out how to put the tie downs on. Everything that I've tried, that's how you rotate. Just click on the aileron and it rotates them. But I haven't figured out how to actually remove the tie down. Now, you can do a couple different things here if you want. Okay, so there's our ground power connector, which is kind of cool. We can either move it around ourselves, okay, just like so. And we can come over here and do the tail section, which is rotate the elevator. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. And just do an actual walk around if we want, right? But remember to use your interior camera movements, right? So then we're going to come back over here and we're going to catch this aileron. Treat it like a real walk around. Okay, aileron moves freely. And we're going to have to use our mouse. This is a little goofy for me because I'm not used to obviously being outside with my cockpit controls. So A little slower than usual. Come over here. Show you guys the whole walk around here. Assuming that I remember everything. But it's a pretty neat process and makes it a bit more fun for sure. Now I'm probably going to want to come up just a bit. We're going to come over here. Move our camera down a bit. Let's check the oil on the... Oh, that's just going to rotate that. There we go. Rotate the engine. Ah, still on the... Darn it. Let me go a bit higher. There we go. That's checking the oil. Just clicking on that. I'm hoping some of these animations update as time goes on. I know that there is a pretty significant road map for this aircraft. Check that right tire. Let's remove the wheel chock. Okay, so that should be good to go. Now we're going to come over here to the front. Just like so. And let's see here. Oh. Do like that. There's one. Kick the tire. Remove the wheel chock. All right, so like, there it goes. Now it's letting me move. All right, it wasn't letting me move over. Okay, and then we have the other side here for the pitot cover. Right there. There we go. Now, we should be, I believe that's everything. So if we come inside, let's go back to our tablet view here. There we go. And let's just walk through and make sure we didn't miss anything. So aileron movement, tie down checked, removed. Elevator and rudder movement checked, tie down removed. Aileron checked. Prop checked. Wheel chock removed. Fuel quantity checked. Oil quantity checked. On the right pitot cover, let's see here, checked or removed, checked, removed, and removed. All right, so our walk around is complete. The pre-flight is done. So now I'm going to kick back over here, and you can see there's all your stuff. And to bring them back in, for example, the wheel chocks, you would actually just click on them, and it would reapply them. We'll see that when we do our shutdown. Okay, let's shut our doors here now so we can say that we actually are following the checklist. And there's your pitot covers right down there. All right, so let's get started. Now it gets fun. Okay, so fuel selectors. Let's go ahead and come up top here. Fuel selectors, now they have a safety switch that keeps you from being able to push them in. So once you go to your left tank or right tank, respective tanks, etc., okay, it won't let you go back unless you have that button pushed. So here, I can't move it back, press or pull the safety pin. There you go. All right, so you don't ever have to worry about turning your fuel off mid-flight like yours truly has done a bunch of times in other aircraft. So for right now, we're going to set them to their respective tanks. And let's see here, where are we? So fuel quantity has been checked. Fuel selectors are checked. ESB voltometer, 12 to 14 volts. That's right there. We're sitting right about 13 volts. Looking good. And at this point, now we're not going to worry about this particular portion, but you get your weather info, flight clearance, startup. However, we will get ATIS so we can determine what our active runway is. So I'm going to go to our MEDAR information, essentially. It's the easiest way for me to get it. And we've got 290 at 13 knots, gusting at 19, visibility 10 miles, temperature 24, 2.1, altimeter 3003. Okay, so we'll be taking off from 29 right today. I always get the long taxi every time. Flaps are up, and see here, left and right hand field and avionics and cross buses are all off. So there's our left and right avionics, cross buses, and fields are actually turned on. We're going to shut those off there. Not sure how those got turned on. Anyway. And let's see here, throttle friction set, throttles are at idle, carb heat is off. I don't know if that's off or not. I think that's off. So I'm going to leave those in the position that they're in. I'm hoping that's correct, but we're going to find out, I guess, at some point. I can't find anything that actually tells me whether that's on or off. So I'm just kind of hoping. If you guys know, by all means, tell me, please. And then for engine start, we're going to make sure the strobe light is turned on. There we go. Strobe light is turned on, and starter relay breakers are in. That's going to be right here. There's our start relays. They are both in. You can see you can actually pull them out. So we're good to go there. Okay, fuel pump on. For the right engine, we're going to make sure our fuel pump is on. We get 4 PSI. So let's go upstairs for just a minute. Fuel pump turns to high, or turns to on. Got fuel pressure right here, looking about excess of 6 pounds of pressure. So we're good to go on that. And we want to make sure, let's see here, where was that? Prop area is clear, engines. We missed something here. Hold on. There we go. Prop levers forward. I did skip that. So let's pull prop levers forward. Right now I have a single axis bound to both. All right. So now we also want to make sure, I feel like I missed something else. Oh, ignitions, right? Right ignition. Both on. So it's going to top. 1 and 2. And let's see here. Let's come outstairs. All right, prop area is clear. Clear prop. Let's go ahead and crack that throttle a little bit. Now, I have noticed this aircraft can sometimes be a bit of a drag to start. Let's go ahead and try the choke. The choke's down here. Push down to turn it in. Thought I heard it start. That was weird. There she goes. Engine coming alive. Looking great. Alright, so let's go to here. Sitting at about 900 RPMs. Let's pull it back to idle for the moment. And actually, if we go to our checks list here, it would actually wants us at 1,000, so we'll go up to 1,000 RPMs. Let's turn the right field on. Right field is on. Oil pressure. Oil pressure in the green on the right side. Oil temperature looking good. Amps, volts. You can find we're still under ground power. I'll go ahead and disconnect that now. Okay. And let's see what we got going on here. Cross bus on. Skipped a couple steps there. Had to go back up. My fault there. All right, and let's pull our choke up. And we're right about 1,000 RPMs. Now, here's your RPMs. Here's your manifold pressure, guys. Once we turn the right avionics on, obviously it will move to that side. I use the Class Echo to monitor my engine performance. It's just the easiest way for me to do it. It's much easier to see than trying to read it on these screens here. So you guys will hear me saying that I am adjusting things. I will show you guys where they are, but just know that I am using a third-party device. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go ahead and rinse and repeat for the left engine now. So we're going to come back upstairs, turn on that fuel pump, both ignition switches. Let's make sure that we have fuel pressure. We do indeed, excess of 6 pounds. And once again, give a nice clear prop. And we have a good start on 1. Oh, no, we did not. It died right back out. Disregard that. There she goes. Had to hold it a little longer. Had to convince her. All right, so we got both engines on now. We're going to make sure we turn that strobe light off. And let's walk through here. All circuit breakers, we already did check that in. Left and right avionics need to be turned on. There we go. Avionics coming on. Alert warnings on the ECAM. Everything looks good there. Fire detection system. Let's go ahead and close the checklist for just a minute. Let's bring up the MFD. And our fire detection system is right here. You can see they are both enunciating there on the PFD. Autopilot master goes to on. So there's our autopilot master. Looking good. Oops, I accidentally put that away. There we go. And let's see what else we got. Again, simulating that we got our weather clearance. We do need to go to our transponder. We are going to be flying VFR, so let's go ahead and just set that to on for now. And HRS check, no crosses. MFD flight plan set, comm nav set again. And fuel tanks we want to cross feed. So I'm going to move the right over to the left tank and the left tank over to the right tank. All right, looking good. Taxi clearance, we've got our taxi clearance. Taxi light needs to come to on. Let's see. Oh, left and right fuel pressure and oil temperature. Oil temperature, oil PSI, minimum in the yellow. Oil temperature running a little high at the moment, actually, it looks like. Interestingly enough. Oh, we didn't turn the left field on. My fault. Keep missing things, man. Keep missing things. And the left bus. A little getting ahead of myself because I'm getting excited because this is a fun aircraft here. Okay, so everything else looks good. Now it's just a matter of setting up for our taxi. So give me a second here. Let me get the head tracker started up. And we'll get on our way. Ah, good start. All right, give that a click. Let's see here, where are we now? Do you feel like? I'm way too close here. What's going on here? Okay, I'll try to keep this easy for everybody to see. Okay, so now, all right, we got our choke set, got that. All right, parking brake released. Got a little bit of power. Brake check. Brakes look good. Let's start our taxi out to 2908. I am super tall in this thing right now. Ugh. I'm not sure how my view got messed up, but it did. Oh, I hit a button I didn't mean to hit. There we go. Goodness gracious. And that was just on the keyboard. That had nothing to do with the sim here. The engine sounds are nice. Aircraft sounds, ambience is nice. We'll go out to the run-up location over at the end of 2908. Do our run-up. You guys can pick this aircraft up in the link in the description below, or just find it on the Aerosoft One app. It is sold from Aerosoft. And I have just been really enjoying it. The frame rate is beautiful in it. It has no issues with the frame rate. You know I didn't set was my altimeter. There we go. Looks like we're going to be following the airliner here. Wow, those are good winds. Look at that. And so in the interest of the video essentially being so much longer, like I said, we're just going to take off, basically get up to pattern altitude, make left-hand traffic, and come back in. It's basically just a quick circle around the airport and back in, but definitely think some of you guys are going to enjoy. So I'm going to catch you guys when we get down to the run-up ramp. 29 right / 11 left here is 11,000 feet long, so and we are at the far end of it, so it's going to be quite a bit of a taxi. So I will spare you guys the boredom of watching me maintain yellow line here, and I'll see you guys at the other end. Alright, that's good enough for me for today. Set that parking brake, there we go. Alright, let's start walking through our list here. So taxi light needs to go to the off position. Alright, taxi light is off. Now remember guys, here are all of your engine readouts that I'm going to be watching. However, I'm going to be using the Class Echo to do a lot of this stuff. So I have all of this display on another device that's going to make things a bit easier and not quite so camera demanding here. So let's go ahead and get started here. So for this particular segment, I'm going to go ahead and stop the track IR. There we go. And let's go back to our default view. Let's step on down. What am I looking for? That's what we're looking for. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Parking brake is set, taxi light is off, engine instruments are on, left and right hand RPM 1650. All right, so bringing RPMs up. There's 1650 on the money. You guys can probably certainly hear that. And where were we? All right, so, all right, 1650. Now we're going to do the ignition drop. So I'm going to step upstairs and we're going to turn right ignition off. Monitoring the drop, we're coming down to about 16, there's 1600. $16.05, 1600. Yeah, 1600 right on the money. Let's do the left engine. Only about 1620 on that one. And same thing, right about 1620 for the left side. Okay. And coming back down here, so ignition checks. Then we're going to do prop feathering and monitor the RPMs. And we're just going to do both at the same time, essentially, because I have them all bound to a single axis. 700. Okay. All right. Let's pause back to full here. And now the left and right carb heat says to on. I really hope I'm doing this right. RPMs are dropping. RPMs are rising. Okay. And now back to 1,000 RPMs. All right, looks like our run-up is complete. So now let's go back up to our tanks, and we want them uncross-fed. Before takeoff, left and right fuel pressure monitor. Fuel pressure is good. Okay, compass checked. Verified. Altimeter set and compare, so 3003, and let's see here, you're showing 26 foot up there, not the same. So 3003. Okay, altimeter, heading book set, we can set our altitude. Set for a target of, let's see here, 2650, so we're going to want 3640 essentially. Let's go 3,600 feet, basically for pattern altitude. And where were we? Flaps takeoff. Transponder to alternator altitude reporting. Nice. All right, pitch and rotor trim set. Takeoff briefing complete. All right, let's go ahead and do a swap to the other side here. So we're going to land up. Transponder set on alt. Alerts and warnings, none being reported. Pitot heat is required. We need today. Fuel pumps are on. All external lights on. Parking brake release. Runway free and clear. All right, let's go ahead and get this rolling. All right, so let's turn that off. And let's get the track IR going again. There we go. Parking brake released. Taxi light on. Let's go ahead and make our way to 2908. Alright, again, verifying. Transponder set to altitude. Reporting. Landing light turns on. Strobe light turns on. Text light comes off. Actually said all exterior lights. I'm sorry. Let's leave that on. Runway is free and clear. Let's go ahead and line up. Rotation is between 60 and 65 knots. All levers forward. Fix that terrible line up there. All right, and we're gonna rock and roll. Airspeed alive. There's 50 knots, 60 knots, 65 knots, rotating. Nice and gentle. Maintaining runway positive rate. Popping on the brakes. Bring the gear up. There's 100 feet. 150 feet. 200 feet. Flaps up. And continuing our climb, we want 27 inches, which I'm only registering 26 inches. Oh, came off runway. And we want... Come on, baby. 2250 on the RPMs. RPMs back just a hair. And there's 36. So now for cruise, between 20 and 25 on the manifold pressure, and 20 and 2300 on RPMs. Wrong way there for a second. Start making our turn here. Fun aircraft to fly, guys. It really is. I like the sound. Oh, whoa. Holy climb. Get a hold of yourself, Mike. Come on. Get that nose down. Knock it off. Feet higher than where I want to be, but that's all right. Make it work. So now we'll just do a quick circuit, bring it in. I will tell you guys that I've tested all the autopilot functionality. It works absolutely fantastic. No issues at all whatsoever with the autopilot. Didn't have any trouble at all. Tested that in a previous flight. So my goal today is I knew this one was going to be a long one, so I'm trying to be a little picky on what my focal point is here. All right. So at this point we would start our descent. Manifold pressure as required, RPMs as required. Carb heat as required. Make sure we verify our Q&A. Just go ahead and do that again. Looks like it's still current. And speed below 110 knots. We would want flaps to take off, which were already there. So let's go ahead and start flaps 1 here. And then below, let's see here, below 122 knots, we can bring the gear down. Excuse me. There's the gear coming down. Landing and taxi lights are still on because we didn't ever make to the point where we turned them off. We got 3 green on the landing gear. Start turning base. Easy on the nose. Easy on the nose. Starting that descent down. Looking for about 75 knots on the maintain there. ahead and start turning final here. Props to full. Power off. We're high. I didn't descend enough. But you guys know me. One thing's been consistent is my space shuttle landings. Good lineup though. Came right out where I wanted to be. Going to full flaps. I've always had the space shuttle approaches. Try to maintain right about that 75 knots there. Get that landing zone in sight. Get a bit of a crosswind, crabbing in. Gonna land a little bit past where I was aiming for. Again, came in high. It happens. Power off. Set that right wheel down first. Oh, now she's coming the other way. Little off center line, lot off center line. These crosswind landings, they'll get you. All right, and that is our landing. Let's go ahead and get those flaps up. Add some power back in. I'm going to get us taxied all the way down to the back to the ramp, and then we'll go over the shutdown procedures. I know we're already approaching right about a half an hour on this video, guys. So again, I don't want to make it too long for you guys. So let me go ahead and move on down. All right, we're just pulling up to parking here. We've got our landing lights off. We have the strobe light turned off. We have our transponder set back to the on position. Oops, and a bad turn on the taxiway too. All right, let's go ahead and hold it here. There it goes. Wouldn't let me hit the parking brake. Okay, so now let's take a look at our shutdown procedures here. All right, so transponder, let's go ahead and set that back to standby. Landing light is off, strobes are light. Taxi light is off. Autopilot master is off. Left and right hand avionics. Off. Left and right field and cross bus. And let's go up top for the ignitions. And the fuel boosters, by the way, you turn them off once you are airborne, but since we were coming right back around for a landing, which you would have to turn them back on, is why I left them on. Okay, so we have engines off, lights, nav light off. Oops, there we go. Make sure the master switch is turned off. And then I like to go do a few others here just to make sure. We can go ahead and put our checklist away here. And let's just do a quick walkthrough and make sure that anything else, because again, it does do state saving. So we want to make sure we get everything else set. So let's see here. I can't remember how to turn this off. I did it once before, and now I can't remember how to do it. I also had this thing die. Does anyone know where the charging cable for this is? I'm pretty sure it has one. Oops. There we go. Well, that sets that down there. I don't know if there's a charging cable down there or what. Well, we'll leave it down there. But let's put our pitot covers on. And then remember what I was telling you guys before. Put our wheel chocks out. And I do not remember how to put the tie downs on. I cannot figure out how to do that. Maybe it's only certain locations or what. But you guys, that is her. That is the incredibly beautiful Tecnam P2006. A link to the purchase site will be down in the description below. Make sure you guys check this one out. This is a really fantastic aircraft that I think you guys are all going to really enjoy. As always, folks, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you in the next one.